By just about any measure, our weather pattern since about Christmas time, Northern Plains, upper Midwest region, it's been a hard winter. We've had a lot of Arctic air outbreaks and several significant snows, some ground blizzards and severe snowing blizzards. But that cold Arctic weather pattern is about to start going into retreat. It looks like, especially as we head into the very tail end of January and early February, it's going to be a lot less cold across the region, and it looks like a pattern that will be mostly dry. Maybe you can get some sunny days. Not necessarily promising a big thaw here, just a break in the weather pattern. Frigid weather has been kind of coming and going with this ridging along the west coast, which has really been the ticket to the cold weather dropping down into the northern plains, upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and much of central and eastern Canada. And we're not quite finished with that short term. Some of that certainly is going to build in. Looks like one really fairly significant cold snap centered on about Tuesday into Wednesday into the northern plains. Then that will actually go into retreat just a bit. It may try to come back a little, but this ridge is beginning to show some signs toward the end of the week of flattening just a bit. Now, we may get one last little surge of cold air. I don't think it'll be too rough, but as we head on into next week, there are signs that this pattern will begin to break down just a little bit. It's not a complete flip or a complete reversal like North American weather will often do in the wintertime. I don't see us going suddenly into warm and dry. I just see a weather pattern where the weather will be a lot less frigid, a lot less cold. It'll still be a relatively cold pattern. Still going to see some cold weather, some storminess in the southeastern states, but overall things are starting to look a little bit less unfriendly. As far as precipitation goes, this week it's looking pretty dry. Not saying there won't be any snow at all, but it doesn't look like there'll be much chance, really, of anything other than stray flurries here and there. There will be a fairly wet, rainy pattern across the Gulf Coast, and I do expect to see some snows throughout the Continental Divide area, and there may even be some significant snow in parts of Colorado, and that may shift a little bit. But the West Coast looks dry, and most of southern Canada looks dry. Northern Plains, Great Lakes area looking mostly dry. As we go into the second week, now this will be the week which straddles the month of February. It's still looking pretty dry. Remember, we're starting to get a little bit less cold weather here. There still will be some rainy weather down along the Gulf Coast, and there are some signs that that area of snow in Colorado will shift northward, and this may eventually spill out and bring some more precipitation into the northern plains, but it looks like something like that would be beyond the present 2-week period. So for the short term, we're looking to see that cold air go into retreat. Our weather will be generally a lot less cold and generally mostly dry. Not saying there won't be any snow, won't say there won't be some chilly mornings. It's still January, February, just not so much.